And last but not least, applying AI ethics is not about avoiding AI entirely. It is about using it in a way that genuinely support learning and growth. And as a closing statement on this slide, AI will continue to be part of our university life. The question is not whether to use it, but how to use it well. The foundation you build now in understanding AI ethics will shape the kind of students, educator, and professional you become. Anyway, thank you so much for your time and attention today. I hope this session has given you something valuable to carry forward. I will now hand over back to our MC. I would like to say thank you one more time. Thank you.
Thank you, Amsha Daniel, for the delightful sharing. Moving forward, we will continue our second session titled Ethical Challenges of AI in Academic Learning and Assessment, presented by Mama Hatim bin Nazamid. We now invite our second speaker to deliver his presentation.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Muhammad Hatim bin Azamit, and I'll be your second speaker for our second session. So before I begin, I would like to thank our MCs for the facilitation and also our guests for sharing your precious time with us and all the participants from India and all over Malaysia. I hope that we can learn something from today's session. So, in session one, we explored the foundation of AI ethics and the principle of AI in higher education. As AI becomes more integrated in university life, new challenges are emerging in both learning and assessment. Students can now access AI assistant within seconds, which can help them with multiple things, assignment, studies, and many more. And at the same time, educators are exploring AI tools to improve university learning experience. While this development offer many benefits, they also create an important ethical challenges that university must address. So the main question is, how institution can benefit from AI while preserving the learning quality, fairness, and academic integrity? So first, we will look into what sort of challenges students are facing with AI-assisted learning. As we know, most students nowadays use AI tools to help them with their studies. Because why? AI is such a powerful tool that can help explain difficult concepts. Think about it. Before AI was smart, it would take a lot of effort to understand, for example, subject like physics or chemistry, because we would need to find manually a book, ask a friend or a lecturer for us to gain and understand this knowledge. Other than that, AI can also assist in our assignment and brainstorm ideas and more. And because of this convenience factor, that most students decide to use AI. But what would be the impact if it's not used correctly? Students may be too over-dependent on AI for answers or to finish their assignments. And we know, as a human, being over-dependent on something comes with potential consequences. The consequences may be reduced critical thinking, weaker problem-solving skills, and less independent learning. Because when students use AI, instead of thinking for themselves, it can quietly take away the skill they're supposed to be building in university, which is critical thinking and problem solving. Not only that, students will also struggle with having creativity and originality of their ideas because they stop questioning things. When AI hands you an answer, there's no space for students to think and come up with their own solution. And some students who always use AI will not question, oh, does it actually make sense? Can I apply this theory in real life? Which matters a lot in a world full of misinformation. Next, I want to point out another ethical issues, which is that not all students have the same access to the premium AI tools. And we know that better AI tools are coming. And to be honest, it's expensive. And this unequal access may create gaps in a few different things, such as learning opportunities, academic support, and educational outcomes. For example, I, as a student in STEMs, coding support alone from premium tools versus a free basic ones, is completely different experience because the premium ones writes better code faster and the free ones usually still stuck trying to understand the error message. However, education is not only about getting a quick answers. It's about developing critical thinking, problem solving skill, and have a responsible decision making. And we have to work together to keep it that way. So AI is capable of generating almost anything today. It can write essays, reports. It can also write. It can also codes without any student effort. So this brings us a few challenges. First being authenticity of work. So if a student submit an assignment, how do we actually know that it reflects their own knowledge and skill set? Because it becomes very difficult to tell whether it's the student or the AI who did most of the work. The next concern would be academic integrity. The institution does not know students are using AI, thus making it hard for them to access the students' real skill. Because this assessment matters a lot because education are built to provide knowledge. And through this assessment, the institution can measure whether their system are relevant to the students. For example, imagine a programming assignments where students use AI to generate the full code and the code do runs well without errors. But when the lecturer asked them to explain the code, they could not because they didn't actually do the work and they don't understand what they actually did. You may think this is fine in the real world, but the consequences is a lot more in the future. Now, interestingly, AI is not only used by students, and some educational institutions are also exploring AI-assisted tools to help them with grading and evaluation. For example, Nanyang Technology University from Singapore allows AI to grade midterm and final exam in selected physics and mathematical module. And on the surface, it sounds great because it can save time and effort, but it also brings its own ethical concern, such as algorithmic bias, inconsistent grading outcomes, because AI is trained on human data, which naturally comes with mistake, preference, and biases. And we know that AI can make mistakes if there's no one to monitor it. Next, it also lacks transparency in how decisions are made and the potential unfair treatment to certain group of people. Because AI is trained poorly and this could really affect the future of our students. Students should be evaluated based on a fair and transparent criteria because this assessment decisions are not small. They can significantly influence a student academic achievement and even their future opportunities. So here are the key messages that I want you to remember. AI can support the assessment process, but the important academic decisions should always remain under human supervision. The next challenges involve privacy and data protection. And we know many AI systems collects and process user information. These may include learning behavior, academic performance, user interaction, and sometimes personal information, unfortunately. While this data can help improve learning experience, it also create risk to us, an institution. And the data collected from students who are using AI platform can be misused, unrelated to learning. While students may not be clearly informed on how data have been used, we concern because AI company may excessively collects data, which opens up to privacy risks, data security breaches, and with the unclear data policy, students should also be cautious about the information they share with AI tools. So we've covered the current challenges, but now let us discuss about the future emerging challenges. As AI technology continue to evolve, universities will keep facing new problems. And here on the slide, you can see 5 emerging challenges. The first being detecting AI generated work. And honestly, this is getting harder and harder because AI is becoming better at sounding like human. Second, redesigning assessment for the AI era. And the old way of testing students may no longer work. So assessment themselves need to change. Third, being balancing innovation with academic integrity. We want to embrace the new technology, but not at the cost of integrity and the learning processes. And fourth, ensuring fair access to AI technologies. As we discussed earlier, not every student can afford the same tools. And managing the growing independence, and not every, and the university will have to address this gap. Fifth being managing the growing dependence on AI system, because the more we rely on AI, the harder it is to function without it. So the key message is these ethical challenges will not stay the same. They will continue to evolve alongside the technology itself, which means university cannot just sit back and wait. They must remain adaptable and proactive in addressing these issues instead of only reacting after the problem appears. So after discussing all these challenges, the natural question would be, what can we actually do about it? So to ensure responsible AI use in both learning and assessment, higher education institutions should focus on these three main pillars. And you can see them on the slides. The first pillar is being having a clear AI policies. Universities need to clearly define what counts as acceptable AI use. For example, when is it okay to use AI? When is it not? They also need to establish a proper assessment guidelines and most importantly, promote transparency so that both students and lecturer knows exactly what the rules are. Let me give you a real example. Imagine one lecturer allows students to use AI for brainstorm, but another lecturer considered the same thing as cheating. So the student get confused because there's no clear standards. This is exactly why a clear university-wide AI policies is so important. It removes guessing, and everyone can play by the same rules. And the second pillar would be AI literacy. And this is one of the very important ones. Both student and educator should understand AI properly. That meant understanding its capability, what it can do, its limitation, what it cannot do, and the ethical risks involved, and the responsible practices around using it. So here's an example. A student asks AI to find reference for an assignment, and the AI confidently produces a list of sources, but some of those sources do not even exist. And we call this AI hallucination. A student with good AI literacy would know to double check those references, while a student without it would probably submit the fake sources without realizing it. So you see, you cannot use a tool ethically if you do not even understand how it actually works. And third and final pillars is having human oversight, or we can call it human supervision. This is the one I really want you to remember. AI should assist decision making and should never fully replace human judgment. For example, imagine a university student uses an AI system to automatically grade final exams. If the system makes a mistake or grade unfairly and no human ever reviews it, a student could actually fail unfairly without anyone noticing. But with human supervision, a lecturer review, we can confirm that AI we can confirm that the results are true. So AI can support teachers, support the students, also support the process. But the final important outcome should always be in human hands. So let's pause for a moment and ask ourselves what actually happens if universities choose to look away. Because here's the thing, ignoring these issues doesn't make them disappear. It just lets them grow quietly in the background until they become too big to fix. First, the value of degree itself starting to erode. Think about it. If an employer can't trust that a graduate result actually reflects their own ability, then what does that degree even represent anymore? Once that doubt is in, the reputation of the entire institution, not just the students, takes a hit. Second, the real legal and reputational risk. And this one is actually has a few layers to it. When a student uses AI without disclosing it, this can be a plagiarism and academic integrity disputes because the institution can no longer clearly tell whose work is it. On top of that, remember the privacy concern we discussed earlier? Mishandling students' data isn't just about ethical issues. It can turn into an actual legal violation. And when both of these piles up, plagiarism dispute and data mishandling, the institution reputation takes a hit that can takes like years to rebuild. A third being the gap in education widen even further. We talked earlier about unequal access. Without intervention, this access doesn't stay the same. It keeps growing year after year until some students are left behind, far behind, simply because the tools they could and they couldn't afford. And this is why we have to help each other to face these challenges, because otherwise, we will only be facing with much larger problem in the future. So now, let us bring everything together and see the bigger pictures. First, AI is transforming both learning and assessment. Second, ethical challenges goes beyond just technology. They affect educational quality, fairness, and trust. These are human issues, not just technical ones. And the third path forward is through proactive action from both students and institution. With everything we've discussed so far, we can see that AI can now support almost every part of education, but it cannot replace the judgment, the responsibility, and the trust that only people can hold. That's really the heart of everything we've talked about today. It's not a question whether AI is good or bad. It's a question whether we're using it in a way that still respects human development as a whole. So with that in mind, let's close with one final thought. So the central question is no longer whether we should adopt AI in a university. That is already decided. AI is here and it is here to stay. And the real question is now, how do we guide its implementation so that it can support deep and genuine intellectual growth rather than weakening it? Because if we can balance innovation with ethics, we can protect one thing that matters most, which is the cause of human knowledge. So my message to you all is, as students, educator, and future leader is simple. We cannot fear AI. Let us not blindly depend on it either. Let us use it responsibly. And with that, I would like to thank you all for your time and attention. It's been a pleasure talking to you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mama Tim, for the valuable insight. We will now move on to our Q&A session. We welcome any question from the audience. Please drop your question in the chat box or use the raise hand function. We will address as many questions as possible within our remaining time. Okay, I've see an interesting question from Sophia. So why is critical thinking is more important than ever when using AI tools in higher education? Amsha, could you please give your view on this?
Sure. Thank you, Kimi, for handing the floor over to me. So the question is, why is critical thinking more important than ever? It's simply because then we are stop asking questions, we are stop verifying them. Because as you know, AI can make mistakes. Even advanced AI systems sometimes generate incorrect information or misleading conclusion. So just like I said, verification is essential. Verification is also part of your responsibility as students or educator. You should cross-check AI-generated information with reliable academic sources. So then you know for sure that you're not just copy and pasting whatever AI said.
Thank you for your view on that, Amsha. So we have time for one last question. I see an interesting one over here, which is from Raida. What are the long-term consequences if student becoming more overly dependent on AI for learning and problem solving? So for this, can Hatim share your opinion on this?
Of course, I would love to share my opinion. As we discussed earlier, being too over dependent on something will have a really big consequences. And the main consequences of being dependent on AI is students may develop a weaker critical thinking and analytical skills because they stop thinking about how to solve their problem. They rely everything on AI. They rely to solve their homework, their assignments, and it slowly takes away their ability to think properly and having a deep thinking while solving their problems. I think that is one of the main consequences of overly dependent on AI. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our speakers, Amsha Daniel and Mama Hatim, for clarifying those questions. We hope that answers all the inquiries from the audience. We will now proceed to the forum session conducted by lecturers and students from Kalingar Karuna IDH, Institute of Technology KIT. The session will be moderated by Iqmal Hanif bin Soimin and Tengku Maria Marisa binti Tengku Muhammad. With that, I would like to hand over the screen to our moderators to lead the discussion. Please proceed.
Thank you, MC, for the nice introduction. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening to everyone joining us today. Welcome to the forum session of our international webinar. I am Iqbal Hanif, and alongside my co-moderator,
My name is Tengkumar Marisa. We are honored to facilitate this forum today. This forum session is dedicated entirely to our esteemed guests from the Kalaignar Kaninadi Pihi Institute of Technology KIT based in Tamil Nadu, India. We are honored to have representatives from KIT with us today to share their scholarly insight and expertise.
today's talk touches on something very relevant to all of us in this digital age: artificial intelligence and ethics, navigating the future of responsible AI. This is a conversation that matters to all of us as students, as educators, and as people living in a world shaped by technology.
Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce the presenters from the KIT who will be leading today's forum. Our first speaker is Dr. S. Raja Mohammed. Dr. Raja Mohammed serves as Associate Professor and also Head of Department for Computer Science and Engineering at KIT. With his wealth of experience in academic, we are most privileged to have him guides today's discussion. A very warm welcome to you, Dr. Raja Mohammed. Next, joining him today are two outstanding third-year students from KIT. We have Ms. Vaishnavi R. from the Department of Artificial Intelligence and Data Science and Mr. Ashwin N. from the Department of Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning. Their participation today is a testament to the caliber of students being nurtured at KIT. A very warm welcome to both of you.
With that, let us welcome Dr. Raja Mohammed, Vaishnavi, and Ashwin to the floor. Their presentation today is titled Artificial Intelligence and Ethics, Navigating the Future of Responsible AI, starting with the fundamentals of AI and how it is already transforming industries like healthcare, before diving into the ethical challenges around bias, privacy, deepfakes, and the future of work. They will also walk us through the core principle of responsible AI, a case study on Amazon AI recruitment tool, and finally a look at how regulated globally. Without further ado, Uh, to Dr. Raja Muhammad Vaishnavi Nashud, you can start your presentation.
Hello, good evening all.
Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening all. Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Raja Muhammad. Hope I am audible and also visible to everyone there.
Yes, you are visible and audible.
Yeah, fine. So sorry for holding up for some time. Once again, a warm welcome to everyone, dignitaries all over India and also Malaysia. Salamat Malaysia. This is what we know. And tomorrow we are going to talk about ethics in AI for higher education, promoting responsible, inclusive, and trustworthy learning, and in which we thought of talking about AI especially in higher education. And as I represent KIT, I should be giving something for the thought process of everyone's mind. KIT, known as Kalaignar Karnataka Institute of Technology, located in southern India, Coimbatore. Our department, Department of Computer Science, was established way back in 2008. And our department has got NB accreditation, that is in accordance with the Washington Accord. Probably people might be knowing that NB accreditation, like the students who study here should be on par with the international standard. Fine. And we do have a number of lab facilities, and we are one among the top institute in the southern India side. And we do have two of our students joining today, Ms. Vaishnavi and Ms. Nancy. And hope we would be joining hands with other remaining people. And I should thank the organizers from the UITM side, especially when I heard through my student Nancy that the students are taking care of all the things, and it gives a goosebump moment that they have planned it meticulously, and each and every part, like say the communication, the organization, and even you say getting the script from either side, cross-verifying that everything was picture perfect. And also we are looking for a number of collaborative work with people over there, and also some of our students have visited UITM maybe 6 months back, I think. And on behalf of the management of KIT and UITM people, once again a very warm welcome, and again bottom-hearted thanks to everybody over there. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much to Dr. Raza Muhammad, Vaishnavi, and also Ashwin. That was truly an enriching and also thought-provoking explanation. Okay, next we will now open the floor for a brief Q&A segment. If any of our participants have questions for our KIT speakers, we warmly invite you to either type your question in the chat or raise your virtual hand and we will unmute you. So we have approximately 6 minutes for this segment.
Thank you so for the introduction, and thank you for the team who organizes this, and this is a great opportunity to be up. I'm Vaishnavi, and today I will be discussing about AI technologies, their impact on society, and some important ethical considerations. But Rather than starting with technical definitions, I would like you to imagine a student named Ravi. Ravi, just like many of us. Sorry, is there any internet problem? Because our slides are changing. It should be in second slide. Thank you. And before that, but rather than starting the technical definition, I would like you to imagine a student named Ravi. Ravi is just like many of us. He uses a smartphone, studies online, shops on the internet, and dreams of building a successful career. Follow Ravi through his day. We will see how artificial intelligence is influencing our life as we know. We often don't know, right? So let's start with the Ravi's morning. Next slide, please. As soon as Ravi wakes up, he asks his phone, "What's the weather today?" Within a second, the phone understands his voice and provides an answer. Now, have you ever wondered how a machine can understand what we say? The answer lies in artificial intelligence technologies. Machine learning helps systems to learn from data and improve over time. Deep learning helps to recognize patterns such as images, speech, and faces. Natural language processing enables machines to understand and develop their future work. Then, computer vision allows computers to interpret visual information. Together, these technologies power facial recognition, virtual chatbots, and recommendation systems. Therefore, so even before Ravi leaves his house, AI is already helping him. But AI doesn't stop there. It continues to assist Ravi throughout the rest of his day. Next slide. As Ravi travels to college, he opens Google Map to avoid the traffic. Later, he opens when watching the YouTube. He notices that videos being recommended based on his interest. When shopping on the internet, the product which appear that matches recent searches. These may seem like ordinary experiences, but beyond each of them, AI is working quietly in the background. Today, AI is influencing how we learn, communicate, travel, shop, and work. It helps organizations to make faster decisions, improve efficiency, and provide professional experiences. Then, because of its rapid growing, AI is often described as one of the most transformative technology of our time. So, as Ravi experiences these conveniences, he realized that the AI is helping the people in much more important ways as well. One of the best examples can be seen in healthcare. Now, one day, Ravi's father develops a health issue and visits a hospital. The doctors use AI-powered system to analyze the medical scans and identify possible problems more quickly. So AI can detect diseases earlier, support accurate diagnosis, and assist doctors in making treatment decisions. So AI can help rather than replacing the healthcare professionals. AI acts as a powerful assistant that helps them to provide a better care. As a result, healthcare becomes more efficient and patient outcomes also improve. After seeing how AI can positively impact his father's health, Ravi realizes that it is not only helping the students or hospitals, it is creating a value across many industries and communities. Now, let's look at Ravi's family. His cousin is a farmer who uses an AI tools to monitor crop condition and improve productivity. His sister studies through an online learning platform that adapts lessons based on her learning progress. At the bank, AI can help to detect the suspicious transactions and prevent fraud. In transportation, AI supports route planning and traffic management. These examples shows that AI is helping people from different professions and backgrounds. By this point, Ravi can clearly see how the benefits of AI. But he also begins to wonder about something important. If AI is making decisions that affect people's lives, how do we make sure those decisions are fair and trustworthy? Let's imagine that Ravi applies for a scholarship or an internship, and AI system is involved in evaluating the applications. Naturally, Ravi would want to know that the progress is fair and transparent. This is where ethics become important. As AI system becomes involved in making important decisions, they must be transparent, accountable, and trustworthy. Ethical AI helps to ensure that the technology benefits society while minimizing the risk. It protects fairness, human rights, and public trust. Without ethical guidelines, AI could potentially be misused or produce unfair outcomes. To understand this challenge better, let's look at one of the most common ethical concerns in AI. As a few years later, Ravi graduates and applies for his dream job. ASC required skills and qualification. However, an AI system rejects its application because it was trained using unbiased historical data. This is known as algorithmic bias. When AI learns from biased data, it can unintentionally make unfair outcomes. So, such problems can affect recruitment, healthcare, banking, and many other sectors. To reduce bias, organizations use diverse data sets and regularly evaluate their AI systems. Fairness is essential because AI should create opportunities for everyone, not just for a few groups. So, by reducing the bias, we can build AI systems that are more trustworthy and beneficial for society. Through Ravi's journey, we have seen how AI technologies influence daily lives, transform industries, improve healthcare, and raise important ethical questions. We've also seen why fairness is essential for society. However, the discussion does not end here. Important concerns still remain regarding privacy, misinformation, the future of work, and global AI governance. To explore these topics further, I would like to hand over the presentation to my teammate, Mr. Ashwin.
Thank you, Vaishnavi, for providing us an excellent overview of artificial intelligence and its growing influence across various sectors. A very warm welcome to all our distinguished guests, respected faculty members, industry professionals, researchers, participants, and students joining us today. I'm Ashwin, and I will be continuing today's presentation by exploring some of the most important challenges and opportunities and responsibilities that accompany the rapid advancement of artificial intelligence. Let us now move forward and examine the ethical, social, and global implications of AI in our rapidly evolving digital world. Next slide, please. Let's begin with a question. How much of your personal information do you think you generate in a single day? Every search, online purchase, social media post, and even the way we use our smartphones creates data. In fact, the world now generates hundreds of millions of terabytes of data every day. But with this opportunity comes responsibility. How do we protect personal privacy while still enabling innovation? Around the world, regulations such as Europe's GDPR are helping establish stronger protection for users. As AI becomes more powerful, ensuring trust, transparency, and responsible data usage will be one of the most important challenges of our digital future. Now, let's talk about something many of us have already encountered online, the misinformation. Artificial intelligence can now generate images, videos, and even voices that appear remarkably real. These fakes have become so convincing that millions of people have believed fabricated content before it was exposed. Imagine the impact this could have during elections, natural disasters, or public emergencies where accurate information is very essential. The challenge is no longer just accessing information, it's determining whether that information is trustworthy. In an AI driven world, critical thinking and fact checking are just as important as technological innovation. Whenever AI is discussed, one question always comes up. Will AI take away our jobs? This is hilarious, but we should think a lot. History gives us an interesting answer. Every major technological revolution, from electricity to computers, changed the way people worked, but it also created entirely new opportunities. AI is expected to automate repetitive and routine tasks, allowing humans to focus more on creativity, problem solving, and decision making. The real competitive advantage in the future won't simply be technical knowledge. It will be the adaptability, continuous learning, communication skills, and the ability to work alongside intelligent systems. The future belongs not to those who resist change, but to those who adapt and evolve with it. When we think about AI's future, it's important to remember that AI is not a replacement for human intelligence, it's an amplifier for it. Today, AI is helping doctors detect diseases earlier, assisting scientists in climatic research, accelerating drug discovery, and improving access to education around the world. But technology itself is neutral. The outcome we achieve will depend on the values, ethics, and decisions that guide its development. The future of AI is not just about what machines can do, it's about what humanity chooses to do with them. Let's talking about global governance. AI does not recognize national borders. A system developed in one country can influence millions of people across the globe. That is why international cooperation is becoming increasingly important. Organizations such as United Nations, UNESCO, and governments worldwide are working to establish principles that promote fairness, transparency, accountability, and human oversight. The goal is simple: encourage innovation while ensuring safety and protecting fundamental human rights. Because AI is a global technology, building a responsible AI ecosystem requires collaboration between government, researchers, industries, and citizens across the world. The key takeaway. If there is one message I would like everyone to take away from today's discussion, it is this: artificial intelligence is not a future technology, it's a present reality. The decisions we make today regarding education, ethics, privacy, governance, and accessibility will shape how AI impacts future generations. Technology alone does not determine the future, people do. Responsible AI is not just a technical challenge for engineers, it's a shared responsibility for society as a whole. So, talking about responsible AI, as I conclude, I would like to leave you with a fun final thought. Artificial intelligence may become one of the most influential innovations in human history. It has the power to transform healthcare, education, industry, sustainability, and countless aspects of our daily lives. Yet, the true measure of AI success will not be how intelligent machines become, but how effectively they improve human lives. Our responsibility is to ensure that AI remains ethical, inclusive, transparent, and human centered. Because the future of AI is not something that simply happens to us, it is something we are all helping to create. Thank you for all your time today, attention, and active participation. It's been a pleasure sharing these insights with you, and thanks for this opportunity.
Thank you very much to Dr. S. Raja Mohammed, Vaishnavi, and also Ashwin. That was really an astonishing, enriching, and also thought-provoking presentation. So next, we will now open the floor for a brief Q&A segment. If any of our participants have questions for our KIT speakers, we warmly invite you to either type your question in the chat or raise your virtual hand and we will unmute you. Basically, we have approximately 6 minutes for this segmentation, so let us make it productive.
Thank you to everyone who joined on the Q&A. We really appreciate the engagement. On behalf of the entire organizing team, I would like to express our sincerest gratitude to Dr. S. Raja Mohammed, Ms. Vaishnavi R, and Mr. Ashwin N for such a wonderful presentation. Your thoughts on responsible AI and the ethics behind this technology have truly given us a lot to think about. The dedication KIT puts into nurturing students who are just not technically strong but also ethically grounded, it really shows, and we are honored to have had this collaboration.
Indeed, as Dr. Raja Mohammed's slide is so powerful, it reminded us that AI is actually powerful, but how we use it actually determine our future. So let us carry that message forward as a student, as a researcher, and also as a responsible members of the global community. Thus, this concludes the forum session of our webinar. Thank you once again to KIT and thank you to all of our participants for your time and also your curiosity. Assalamualaikum and have a wonderful rest of your day. Next, we will now hand the session back to our MC for the continuation of today's program. Thank you.
Thank you so much to our moderators, Ikmal Hanif and Tinku Maria Marisa, as well as our international panel from KIT for such an engaging and wonderful forum discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached to the conclusion of Module 1 for today's international webinar. We would like to express our deepest gratitude and highest appreciation to our esteemed speaker, Amshadinil bin Muhammad Nizam and Muhammad Hatim bin Nazamit, as well as our brilliant forum moderators, Ikmal Hanif and Teguh Maria Marisa, and also our counterpart panel members from the Kalagnar Karunanidhi Institute of Technology, KIT. Your profound insight into the fundamentals of AI ethics, bias, and fairness have truly enlightened us all and set a spectacular foundation for today's discourse.
Before we temporarily conclude this session, we would like to invite all participants to turn on their camera once again for a quick Model 1 group photo session. All right, let's take a screenshot. Smile, everyone. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Okay, dear participants, your feedback is highly valuable in helping us assess the effectiveness and impact of this program. We kindly request your cooperation to fill out the feedback form for International Webinar Digital Ethics 101 Ethics in AI for Higher Education. The QR code is currently displayed on the screen. Please take a few minutes to scan it and share your thoughts. Thank you in advance for your cooperation.
We will now take a short break for lunch and technical preparation for Model 2, which will commence promptly at 1:30 p.m. Model 2 will feature an equally exciting lineup discussing the new frontier of digital policing and ethical pillars and human shield, which will be hosted by your next Master of Ceremony.
Please stay tuned in the Microsoft team and the YouTube streams. As for me, Safa Atifa,
And me, Hakiminodin.
it has been an absolute honor serving as your MC for Module 1. We apologize for any shortcomings on our part, and I thank you all for your wonderful cooperation. We shall end with Wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a good break, and we will see you back at 1:30 p.m. Thank you.
Mic testing, 1, 2, 3. Hi, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Mic test, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, mic test.
Hello. Hello. Hujan suara 1, 2, 3. Hello. Hello, dengar ke? Dengar ke?
Hi, Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. Welcome back. I hope you managed to grab a quick coffee, a stretch, and also you fresh your minds during the break. Yes, and while we wait for to back into the session, I want to share a fascinating quote that I stumbled upon by cybersecurity expert James Scott. He once said that supercomputers and AI will complement human intelligence, not replace it. It is a shield, not a sword. A shield, not a sword. How fitting it is. It really sets the perfect tone for what we are about to dive into today. As our upcoming session will explore exactly how these digital boundaries are being tested in our world today. Exactly. So while we wait for everyone else to join us back for this session, let's get to know our crowd a little better. So we are so thrilled to have a global audience with us today. If you are joining us from Malaysia, do drop a thumbs up. And if you are streaming all the way from India, please drop us some love. Okay, I can see some of you has responded. Thank you so much for the warm response, everyone. It really is. It looks like both of our Malaysia and India participants are more than ready for this session. And since everyone is already gathered, so let us start our second session for today. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guests, respected lecturers, fellow students, and participants joining us from Malaysia and India for this international webinar hosted here in Malaysia. For those joining us for the second session, my name is Aina Zulaika, and I'll be your MC for this session for today. And my name is Nuri Sorfina. It is a pleasure to be here alongside Aina as your co-MC for this session. Earlier in the first session, we explored the foundations of AI ethics, fairness, and accountability. For this next segment, organized by the CDCS 251 cohort, we will be moving into discussions of the new frontier of digital policing and ethical pillars and human shield. So, before we begin, just a gentle reminder to all the participants to kindly keep your microphone muted throughout the presentation to ensure a smooth and uninterrupted session for everyone.
To all participants, we will now begin our first presentation for this session, which is on the new frontier of digital policy. To guide us through this discussion, it is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Muhammad Khairul Amri bin Karun Naim, who will be sharing his insights on this topic.
In this session, he will be presenting two engaging segments: the AI detective and cases and conflicts. Participants can also look forward to the interactive quizzes following each segment. So, without further ado, let us sorry. Without further ado, let us welcome our first speaker, Kara Amri.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Aina, and thank you, Noreen, our MC. I'll be taking the baton here and start with our module today. Before that, let me welcome every each of you, especially our friends in diplomatic from India, specifically from the KIT. For everyone else, wherever you may be, please be seated and have a listen. Okay, everyone. I want you to think for a moment about how fast everything about us around us has moved, from the agrarian to the traditional to urbanization, and then into a secular digital world that runs faster than any of us ever anticipated. As you can see at the picture, it's a world of miracle. There are illustrations of the urbanization as well as the agrarian traditional world. Every transition came with a sacrifice, a sentimental one. Even we were, in many ways, forced to leave the past behind, not always by choice, but just by speed. And at last, we arrive here, a world of miracle. But it is also here, in this world of miracle, where we realize something uncomfortable. The modern man cannot always control the modern world he created. The tools grew, the system expanded, and the question that kept coming back across every era, every civilization, every transition was never really about the technology itself, but it was always about how we manage it. And that is where ethics enters. Because ethics is not one thing. There is universal ethics. There are ethics shaped by culture, by tradition, and even by spiritual guidance, all of them in their own way, answering the same question: what is right? And how do we hold ourselves to it? In a secular digital world moving this fast, that question is no longer optional. So that is what this session is about. Before that, I want everyone to give reactions to see if you are paying attention to the slide right now. Okay, good. Before we go anywhere, I want you to imagine something. You are at home, maybe late at night, just browsing. You get a message from someone online. They are friendly, they seem to know what they want. And over the next few days, they keep messaging you. Persistent. They sweetening the deal. And eventually, out of curiosity and out of pressure, you agree to something you probably should not have. Now, here is a twist. That person was never a person. It was actually an AI chatbot programmed by law enforcement to keep everything you said locked, and everything you agreed to became evidence. So, guys, is that justice or is that actually a trap? That is the question this session is built around. So, today we are looking at justice or entrapment, the ethics of AI chatbots in law enforcement, where the digital shield becomes a digital sword. We will go through three sections together. The first section will cover how law enforcement technology has evolved, and the second section examines the core conflict between justice and entrapment. And section 3 brings us into two real case studies that put all of this theory to the test. So let us begin. I want every one of us to think about how we used to see cybersecurity, how cybersecurity used to work. Back then, it was what we call a digital shield, a passive set of safety tools, firewalls, antivirus softwares, passwords built to defend computers, networks, and personal information. The goal was to maintain confidentiality, integrity, and availability so we can keep the bad guys out. But today, we actually have crossed something completely different. Law enforcement agencies are no longer just waiting to be attacked. They are actually going on the offensive by running AI chatbots undercover. They infiltrate dark web communities, tracking those who steal personal data and organizational records. So this AI chatbots is going for the offensive. We have moved from the shield to a sword. And that shift raises a question the law has not fully answered. Are we still protecting the law, or are we accidentally breaking it? Okay, everyone, before we go deeper, let us quickly ground ourselves in what this module is asking us to achieve. By the end of today, we want to understand the role of AI chatbots in law enforcement, differentiate between what is justice and what actually is trapping, entrapment. And we want to analyze the ethical challenges involved within this context. We want to assess global legal implications as well as to apply safe digital habits in our own lives. But I want to flag the question at the bottom of this slide because it is one that ties everything together. Let's take a look. Can AI differentiate justice from entrapment? This is what we are here to find out. So the first section would be the evolution of the digital frontier. As technology evolves, the tools that protect our digital world must evolve with it, from passive defense to active undercover agents. So everyone, are you still with me? So what exactly is an AI law enforcement chatbot? I'll repeat, AI law enforcement chatbot. It's based, you can think of this as an undercover agent, but it is digital. It is robot. It never sleeps. By 2026, authorities deploy these AI programs directly into the hidden dark web. They interact with users, identify potential cybercrimes before they happen, and act as a worldwide barrier against the theft or personal information, financial records, and networks. One bot can simultaneously monitor thousands of corners of the internet at the same time. We saw this proven at scale with Operation Alice, which we will look at closely very soon. A human undercover agent needs sleep. They can only talk to one person at a time. They are limited by language and geography. But an AI chatbot has none of those limitations. And that difference, as we will see, is exactly what makes this ethically complex. So in section 2, the core conflict, are we protecting or tricking? So this is such a debate of 2026, the line between catching a crime and actually creating one. So everyone, we have one big question. Where is the line between justice and entrapment? I want to define both clearly. Take a look at the slide. On the left side of the slide, we talk about justice. The justice we know, monitoring, detecting, stopping. The police observe someone who is already trying to break into a house. They wait, they catch them, and the person wanted to commit the crime. The police simply documented it. On the right side of the slide is entrapment, persuading, pressuring, producing the crime. A person is walking down the street, minding their own business, but an undercover bot stops them and spend an hour convincing them to steal. That stealing is such a great idea. It's definitely safe and it's worth it until the human finally agree to do some stealing. So it's the same outcome, but the situation is actually very different. 2, 3, the same ending, but only one is justice. And the question we need to carry forward is, which one does AI enforcement look more like? So this is where it gets important, because AI not the same as human undercover agent, not even close. Look at judgment. Human will use experience and emotion to read the situation, and AI could not possibly have emotion. Instead, they will use data that is programmed within themselves. In terms of availability, a human needs sleep and can only speak to one person at a time, and AI holds thousands of conversations simultaneously. That's a big difference. And in terms of bias, a human may carry personal prejudice or understanding, but an AI is theoretically neutral, but it inherits whatever bias exists in the data it was trained on. In terms of persistency, a human will become tired if someone keep on saying no, but AI can be programmed to be completely unrelenting, messaging the same person for weeks over and over again. So, in terms of manipulation speed, a human may take times to build a fake friendship, but AI can use its algorithm and analyze a target's entire social media history in seconds and perfectly mimic their personality. Hand bonding and making friends becoming a lot easier. And a human is very limited by location and language, but AI operates in more than 50 languages and can target people in multiple countries simultaneously. It's the same job, but radically different operator. And when you combine persistence, manipulation, speed, and cross-border reach, you get a tool that can create criminals, not just catch them. In section 3, we want to see things happens on the field. We have been talking about definitions and comparisons, but definitions only take us so far. The real test of any idea is what happens when it meets reality. We are going to look at two case studies. One is real and the other is fictional, but it is very realistic enough that it could just happen tomorrow. And together, they are going to show us something important. The technology is here, the AI is here, but the ethics are still catching up. Case study 1, Operation Alice on March 2026, led by German authorities. Look at the numbers on the left. 373,000 illegal websites closed, 23 countries collaborating, and 440 customers identified globally. On the surface, this is a massive success because we caught 440 customers trying to buy illegal stuff. But actually, German authorities, supported by these 23 countries, shut down over 373,000 illegal websites in a coordinated sweep. The trap is, those websites were not real markets. They were sting operations, offering goods that never existed. The entire marketplace was constructed by law enforcement. So the results are, they caught 440 customers and they are globally identified for an investigation. And then the conflict is Many of those 440 targets lived under different legal regimes, different countries, different laws, and different definitions of what counts as a crime. So it raises the question, does Germany or any single country have the right to run a sting operation that catches this citizen of another country under laws that may not even apply to that person at home? The digital world does not stop at the border, but the law still does. So we are moving to the second case study, which is the Jeremy case. This one is fictional, but built on a very real technology. The mission: Jeremy was programmed to blend into high risk digital environments, like the dark webs, forums, where stolen personal information was being traded. Names, bank details, home addresses. Jeremy's mission: find the people selling this data. But the conflict is Jeremy logged onto a user in a neighboring country, and when the user hesitated, when they showed reluctance, Jeremy's algorithm was set to close the deal. It quietly began raising the financial incentive again and again and again. Hence, the outcome: the user that Jeremy has been nagging finally and eventually agreed. They were tracked and they were arrested. And then the defense made this argument. Without Jeremy's persistent financial pressure, no crime would have been ever committed, right? If Jeremy was never there, if those messages were never sent, would the crime have happened? We do not know, and that is exactly the problem. The question is not, did the user do something wrong? Instead, the question is, would they have done it without the AI chatbot Jeremy? We got Operation Alice, we got Jeremy. It's two different cases, but both of them point to the same uncomfortable truth. The technology is here. The ethics are still catching up. The decisions being made right now about how AI can be used, how far it can reach, who it can target, what counts as evidence, these decisions are being made without a clear, agreed framework yet. As we move into the next sections, we will look at the ethical pillars that should be guiding these decisions: algorithmic due process, digital sovereignty, and the human in the loop principle. But before that, you can argue about what the rules should be. You need to see clearly what happens when there are no rules. That is what section 3 was for. Soon you will hear from the next speaker, Sarah Irdina, on section 4, ethical pillars. And that is all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cairo Amri, for that insightful presentation. Tukar slide. The discussion truly highlights how artificial intelligence is transforming modern investigation and reshaping the future of the digital policing. It was both fascinating and deeply relevant to the challenges we face today. We sincerely appreciate your time and valuable sharing.
Yes, absolutely. And now, to test your understanding of what Caro just shared with us, it is time for our first interactive quiz session. We would like to invite all our participants from both Malaysia and India to scan the QR code displayed on the screen or click on the link that has been provided by our technical team in the chat box.
But hold on, everyone, that's a catch. We encourage you to be fast, as only the first 100 participants can join the quiz. So be fast. Scan the QR code displayed on the screen or click the link that is provided in the chat box right now. And let's see who claims the ultimate bragging rights at the top of our leaderboard. So we will give you some time to get ready before we start the quiz. All right, everyone. Now that we are all set to begin, let us look at question number one. So, what does the active interpolation refer to? Please log in your choices on your screen now. And the answer is the joining online committees secretly for investigation. So, great start to everyone who got that right.
Okay, moving on to question 2. Which technology is highlighted in the slides for digital investigation? Is it blockchain, cloud gaming, AI chatbot agents, or virtual reality?
Yes, the answer is the AI chatbot agents. Saya tak buat. Saya kalau lambat, Okay, 4. Next question. Question number 3. Which of the following is an advantage of AI chatbots agent? So make sure to submit your answer before the class run out. So that the correct answer is they can work for 24/7. That's one of the key advantages of AI power tools.
Moving on to the next question. Entrapment occur when
Okay, we're moving on to the next scenario-based question. Question number 5. Agent Jeremy is tracking a high-tech thief on the dark web. The thief is bragging about having a database of names, home addresses, and bank account logins. Based on this, what is Jeremy's target? And the correct answer is yes, stolen personal information. So excellent work if you got that one right, everyone.
Now for question 6, why are AI agents considered different from human undercover officers? Let's see who can hold on to their spot at the top of the leaderboard.
And the last question, question number 7. What is an important ethical concern regarding AI in law enforcement? And yes, the final correct answer is the possibility of crossing the line into the entrapment. So, and with that, the final scores are in. And looking at our leaderboard, we have number 3, Tasha, taking third place, and followed by the second place, Nino, and big congratulations for our top scorer for this round is Jack. Congratulations, everyone. Okay. So, a very huge congratulations to our top scorers for absolutely crushing it on the leaderboard. To everyone else who didn't get to join or make it to the top, don't be upset or don't be worried, okay? We have one more interactive quizzes coming up later after our next session. But remember, slots are strictly limited, so you've got to be super fast next time. So stay tuned. Okay, we shall now proceed to our second session for this afternoon, titled Ethical Pillars and Human Shield. For this session, we're pleased to welcome Sarah Irdina binti Suharu, who will be sharing her insights on the ethical pillars as well as the safety and red lines in artificial intelligence.
As AI technologies continue to evolve rapidly, it is important for us to understand the ethical boundaries and ensure that AI is used in a safe and responsible way. We are looking forward to hearing your presentation today. Without further ado, let us invite our second speaker for this session, Sarah Edina. Please welcome.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Before we continue, are you guys still here with me? If you're still here, can I see some reactions in the chats? Or maybe drop any emojis that you like. Okay, that's nice. Okay. Okay. I can see there are still many of you here, so that's great. Since it's already around 2:14 p.m. here in Malaysia and around 2:14 p.m. in India, I know some of you might be starting to feel a little hungry or sleepy after sitting through the webinar for quite some time. But don't worry, guys. I'll try my best to keep this session short, interesting, and hopefully useful for everyone because this will be the final presentation segment before we move on to the Q&A session. So I hope all of you, whether you're joining from the UITM or KIT, will be able to gain some valuable insights from today's discussions. So without further delay, let's get started with session 4.0, Ethical Pillars. So think about, now we move on into session 4.0. Okay, think about a building. A building needs strong pillars to remain standing. So without pillars, the entire structure could collapse. But the same idea applies to AI. As AI becomes more powerful in cybersecurity and law enforcement, we need strong ethical foundations to make sure that these technologies are used fairly and responsibly. So without ethics, technology can easily move from protection to abuse. So this is why ethics is not optional in an AI system, but it is necessary. Okay, one of the biggest ethical concerns in AI system is something called the black box problem. A black box AI system means that AI makes decisions, but humans cannot fully understand how those decisions were made. Okay, imagine tomorrow you are accused of committing a cybercrime. Then the judge says, an AI system has determined that you are guilty. So naturally, the first thing that you would ask is, why? Why me? What did I do? So, but they imagine the answer is sorry. The algorithm is kept secret. So would that feel fair? Probably not. And that's why algorithmic due process is so important. So this connects back directly back to the Jeremy case study that my friend shared just now. Jeremy's algorithm was kept secret for national security reasons. As a result, the defense team could not properly investigate whether the AI used illegal tactics or exhibit bias. So, this creates a serious ethical dilemma. How can we trust a system If nobody is allowed to examine how it works, see, people could just hack into the codes or something, right? So this is why experts advocate something called qualified transparency. So what are these qualified transparency? So qualified transparency means that the full source code may remain protected, but neutral judicial authorities must still be allowed to audit the AI's ethical behavior and the decisions making process. Because at the end of the day, justice should never depend entirely on blind trust in a machine. Okay, one of the biggest challenges with AI law enforcement is that the internet has no borders, but laws still do. Today, a single AI chatbot can interact with people from dozens of countries at the same time. However, every arrest still has to follow the laws of a specific country. For example, in the Jeremy case study, Jeremy operated from a global server and targeted someone from another country. The actions performed by that person were not actually illegal in their own country. So this means that AI system was essentially bypassing local laws and applying foreign enforcement into another nation's citizens. Imagine a chatbot developed in country A interacts with someone in country B, and the chatbot thinks that a crime has happened, but country B law says there are no crime was committed. Which country law should we follow? So that's the challenge that governments are facing today. Some experts describe this as creating a digital empire where one country's AI system indirectly policies people around the world. So it's not fair, right? So this becomes an even bigger issue during 2035 and 2036, when multiple international incidents occurred involving people arrested in one country based on conversation with an AI chatbot from another country. So, this is why international cooperation is extremely important. The two important concepts guide in these discussions are national sovereignty and double criminality. So, what are these national sovereignty and double criminality? So, I'll explain it one by one. National sovereignty means that every country has the right to govern itself independently. Meanwhile, double criminality means someone should only be prosecuted if the action is considered illegal in both countries involved. So this is why experts recommend international digital investigations follow mutual legal assistance treaties or MLATs to respect the boundaries of the digital economy. So now let us move on into something more personal and more practical for all of us. Cybersecurity is not only the responsibility of governments, police, or even AI systems. It is also our responsibility as the digital users. Every day we interact with social medias, online shopping, education platform, and AI technologies. So before we continue, I have a quick question for our friends from KIT. I did a little bit of research before today's webinar, and I found that many people in India frequently use Amazon for online shopping. Is it true? Maybe you can give a thumbs up or reaction or type yes in the chat if you're an Amazon user. Okay, nice. I see some interactions, some reactions. They're great. Here in Malaysia, many students and young adults use online platforms such as Shopee, Topshop for online shopping. In fact, some of us probably spend more time scrolling through Shopee rather than studying sometimes. But whether we are using Amazon, Shopee, TikTok, or any other platform, the same cybersecurity risks still exist. Fake sellers, phishing links, account theft, fake promotions, and scam messages can happen anywhere at any time. And that's exactly why digital awareness is so important. Now, if we move from online shopping to online learning, there is another platform shown on this slide, which is the MC Plus. So, for some of people, they might not know what is this MC Plus. So, MC Plus is actually one of the well-known online education platforms in Malaysia that provides online classes, learning resources, tutors, and study materials for students. Whether we are learning through MC Plus, university learning system, or any other educational platform, we are constantly creating strong digital information online. So you guys think about it. Our names, our email addresses, our phone numbers, learning records, assignments, and sometimes even our payment information are stored on these platforms. Protecting our educational accounts is no longer just an IT issue. It is our part of our digital responsibility. Because if cyber criminals can target online shopping accounts, they can also target our educational platforms. Because, yeah, and that's why having cybersecurity habits is important no matter which platform we use. So staying safe online now depends on making the safe, smart digital choices. So, safe habits for the gray area. So these are a few habits that you guys must imply in your daily basis to ensure that you guys are using the online safely. So the first habit is to verify the source. Today, many AI bots sounds extremely realistic. Some fake accounts may pretend to be customer service agents, online sellers, or even a trusted organization. And if something feels suspicious or too good to be true, we should stop and verify the source first. Okay? Secondly, protect your assets. Your personal information is valuable digital currency. Things like bank details, passwords, exam marks, and private photos can become targets for cyber criminals. And once information is shared online, it becomes very difficult to control where it goes afterward. So please protect your assets, okay? And last but not least, is to think before you click. See, many scams depends on urgency and panics. So one careless click can install malware, expose your personal information, or even damage your device. So always pause and think before clicking unfamiliar links. Okay, now let us look at some simple but powerful cybersecurity habits. So these are 4 moves that keep the shield strong. So first is two-factor authentication, or known as 2FA. So what is this 2FA? 2FA is to enable extra protection beyond just a password. So you guys must enable 2FA on your banking, email, even your social apps. So there's no exception, right? Okay, so before I move on to the next point, let me ask you another quick question. Who here is using an iPhone? Raise a hand or even react. Okay, that's quite a lot. I'm also an iPhone user. And if you're like me, your phone storage is probably almost full because of photos, videos, screenshots, or even selfies. So sometimes Apple's release a new software update. And we look at the required storage and think, um, let's just update it next week, maybe next week. But the reality is that the software updates are not only about getting new emojis or new features, but most updates actually fix security vulnerabilities that hackers may already know about that. Every time we delay important updates, we may be leaving our devices exposed to security risks. Therefore, whether you're using an iPhone, Android, tablet, or laptop, make it a habit to keep your software updated. Okay, then third is to use a strong passwords. Use combination of uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols, and never reuse your password. I have a friend of mine that used 0000 as their iPhone passwords. Hey guys, even a non-hacker will know and guess the password, right? So make sure to use a strong password in every account that you have. And lastly, be careful with public Wi-Fi. Public network can expose your data to attackers, which is why VPNs are important when handling sensitive information. Now we arrive at a very important question. The issue today is no longer can AI help catch criminals? Because clearly it can. The bigger question is how far should we allow AI to go? The question is where should